Hi, my people. Welcome back to another episode of reviewing the book Diary of a CEO. So, I got this book last year, ending of last year, and before I read, I want to just share some like tips and some nuggets, so right, some highlighted part of things in this book with you, my community, before I get into the main tea. So, I just want to recommend this book for you if you want to build like your life. Like, this is a book that I think I would read. I'm reading it soon, so you can read this too. So even if you don't get the book, with this series you can even have some nuggets that you can use to plan your life. So basically that's all we do here. There are some highlighted parts of things here, so we just read it and then try to digest it and then understand it, then we move. And this is just to build a community, to have people who desire to know more in a book or hear from people, just something like that. All right, so let's get into it. We are dealing with, or we are going through 33 laws of business and life, and so far we've read or gone through 14 laws. So today we're going to do 3 more laws. That brings it to 17 laws, and then we have, is my math good? 33 minus 17. 3 minus 17, how much is that? I think 16 left. Am I right? Am I right? 60, right? 3 plus 17, that's 20. Plus 10, yeah, 16. There we have 60 more to go. All right, so let's get into it. So law 15, you're taking law 15, and law 15 says the frame matters more than the picture. This law explains how the way a product is presented to customer drastically affects their perception of its value. Remember, we said 33 laws of business and life, so this is more business wise law, and it talks about the packaging of a product. Is more like, it's very important. We've experienced companies or brand change their packaging almost every season or something like that. Like, I've seen several like rebranding or re-strategizing and all that. So the very first quote highlighted part of things is the way that something is packaged has a big impact on how it's received. How something is framed affects how consumers perceive and value the brand. At this moment, the frame of your favorite brand changes irreversibly. So your packaging, when you say packaging, I don't even think it's supposed to be even a product only, but I mean you as an individual, how you package yourself, how you come out to people is very important. Before they get to even know you, your first impression, your first packaging is very important. And so we go to the next. Okay, so the next highlighted of law 15 says framing isn't about lying and deception. It's about knowing how to present your product or service through the most factual and compelling lens. Framing isn't about lying and deception. It's about knowing how to present your product or service through the most factual and compelling lens. Right. Okay, so I want to read the last part of this law. Pardon me for the background noise once again. Okay, so let's read the law. The frame that matters more than the picture. What you say is not all that you say. What you say is determined by the context in what your message, product, or service exists. If you change the frame, you can change your message. Your customers will hear everything, including the things you didn't say. Don't just focus on what you say. Focus on how the frame around what you are trying to say is positively or negatively distorting your message. So sometimes I'm guilty of this, right? Talking to my friends, sometimes with my character of always saying the truth, sometimes I bluntly say the truth without actually analyzing the frame around it, whether it's going to affect the person negatively or positively. So I just blunt it out. and that really goes out most of the time negative, actually, until they go through and analyze that, oh, actually you mean well for me, and come, then I will have to go apologize that, oh, I hurt you anyways. That's it. So, and that's mostly when it comes to marketing or branding or producing a product. You also make sure that whatever you're communicating, from the frame, people get to know it, to the product. And so whatever you're saying in the product, and the product is not even speaking it, the package speaks it, right? So that brings us to the end of law 15, and we read the final quote for law 15. It says, a smart frame will transform the plane. A smart frame will transform the plane. That's true. So true. So we get into law 16, and it says, use Goldilocks to your advantage. This law shows you the powerful yet simple sales trick that you can use to make the thing you are selling appear to be better value without changing the price. So this is still about marketing, or still about business, right? So the first highlighted part of things is our decisions aren't driven by sense, they are driven by the nonsense created by social cues, irrational fear, and survival instincts. Let me stick it again. I love that point. Our decisions aren't driven by sense. They are driven by the nonsense created by social cues, irrational fear, and survival instinct. Do I agree? I think 90%, because of the sense and the nonsense. Oh my god. Okay, so that brings us to the end of law 16 as well. I think it's very short, like it's just so blunt like that. We read the final quote for law 16. It says, the context creates the value. The context creates the value. The context creates the value. The what? Context creates the value. All right, so the final law for today's episode is law 17. It says, let them try and they will buy. This law reveals the easiest way to get someone to love a product immediately. Right. So let's get a highlighted part of things. Okay, so there's no highlighted part of things, but I can see a diagram. I'm gonna show you. And this diagram it's talking about tickets, right? So lottery winners. So for how much would you sell, and for how much would you buy? Okay. I really don't. Okay, so let me read something about it. After the lottery, the ticket winners would ask how much they would sell their tickets for if someone wants to purchase them. Those who hadn't won tickets were asked how much they would be willing to buy for the ticket. Okay, so those who wanted to buy the tickets, they wanted to buy it for $175, but the winners wanted to sell it for $2,400. So on average, those who didn't have tickets said they would pay up to $175. Those who had won the ticket said they would not sell theirs for less than $2,400. So those with tickets valued them nearly 4 times as much as those who didn't have. Okay, so with just this ideology, or with just this analysis, you get to realize that when they have tasted the win of having the ticket, they valued it more than those who have not tasted the win. So immediately let someone test your product, right? They just now are willing to buy, right? I am on a journey on starting my hair care line. So currently I'm using I have produced some, but it's not on the market because I'm using myself as the test of yourself. I'm using it to create, so I'm testing it. But within 1 year, people around me have seen the growth and they are interested in it, so they have also joined the trial process, and I give them to test. So they have tested the product, so when it comes into the market, you're gonna buy it. That's on period. Yeah, so this is kind of like a lesson for business. So as before I get into my business world, I'm going to soak myself in a lot of business ideas, right, or a lot of business knowledge, right, and this is one of them. Right, okay, so let's take the final quote, then we end this episode. Through the lens of ownership, the ordinary becomes the extraordinary. Through the lens of ownership, the ordinary becomes the extraordinary. When you own something, it's not just normal to you. It doesn't. Like, you're working for a company, you don't really care about it, it's just an ordinary job. But when you build a company for yourself, like, that's a big extraordinary move. So when you are selling something to someone, make them have the ownership feeling, and that is the like extraordinary emotion that's like could change things for you to get more clients. I've learned a lot in this episode dealing with business, so when I get into the business era, it's gonna be amazing, right? All right, thank you so much for watching, and you know what we do here. Please tell a friend to tell another friend to tell that other friend that Miss Miliana has dropped another video on reviewing the book Diary of a CEO, and she has discussed some major laws about businesses, which is going to let that person sell more. All right, thank you so much for watching. You watching me, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, share it to that friend, and please tap the notification bell so that it gets notified when I drop any video. I drop videos on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays are for Web3 stuff. Web3 is about blockchain, crypto, and all those things. Wednesdays are for book review, and Fridays are for value up series in the tech space. All right, thank you so much for watching, and